Arsenal will win the Premier League this season. But hold up. Before you get all hypercritical, or before you get warm and fuzzy because you're a fan, hear me out.
Dance like there's no tomorrow.
Okay? Arsenal has finished second the last 3 seasons. And if I was to reflect on why did we not win the league 3 seasons ago, when I thought we put up a surprise title challenge, injuries to Saliba, key players basically. We didn't win. The second season, again, we fell off right at the end. Injuries to key players. City was fantastic as usual. We lost just weird losses, just completely weird losses. Last season, a combination of both injuries to key players and also weird losses. And of course, Liverpool were phenomenal. Very few injuries. I mean, dude literally inherited Klopp's squad and won the league. So kudos to Liverpool, they deserved it. Now, I have looked at the last 12 seasons in the Premier League, and there seemed to be a method to the madness on how to win the league. Okay? And one of them is number of losses. So going far back as 2010/11 season, no team has lost more than 6 points and still won the league. Just purely on losses. I mean, you can argue draws and number of wins because draws, also kind of can make you feel like you lost, right? But let's just focus on losses. In the last 12 seasons, only City have lost 6 games and still won the league. Nothing more than that. Last season, Liverpool lost 4 games only and won the league. Season before that, City lost 3. Even Leicester, way back in 2015-2016, lost only 3 games. We're 10 games in. Liverpool have lost 4 games. City have lost 3. Arsenal just 1 loss. So if my experience Premier League serves me right, I don't think there's any Liverpool fan who can sit here and say Liverpool will not lose at least 2 games for the rest of the season, for the remaining 28 games to go. There are a few games I expect Liverpool to lose. One of them is away at Old Trafford against Man City. I expect a potential loss at the Emirates when they come, because they've lost in the last 3 years. They've lost there twice. Last season they were lucky. I expect them to potentially lose away to Man City. So that's 3 losses already. So that's 7 losses. Now, there could be other freak losses that could happen because Liverpool losing this many games so far this season are just freak losses. Now let's go to City. City've lost 3. As a matter of fact, there's any team I think will challenge Arsenal for the league this season, it's definitely City and not Liverpool. And it's again for the same reasons. City have only lost 3 games. I think they still have another 2 losses in them before the season ends, or even 3. Arsenal will lose games. But the interesting thing about Arsenal this season is that Arsenal have won games that they typically lose. The last 2 seasons we lost away to Newcastle. This season we won. Same thing with Crystal Palace. Same thing with Fulham. Same thing with West Ham. The one more boogie team is Bournemouth. We lost home and away to Bournemouth last season. If Arsenal is able to beat Bournemouth away, or even get a draw away to Bournemouth and beat Bournemouth at the Emirates, that's yet another really, getting result in games we normally lose. Now, the other reason why I think Arsenal win the league. So I have 5 key reasons why, and I stand by this, guy. Okay, one of them is the squad depth. I looked at Arsenal's fixtures from now till January. Guys, from now till January, after the international break, Arsenal, Liverpool, City would have 2 games per week. So basically every weekend and every midweek from now to January. And that's where squad depth comes in. And if there's one thing everyone is raving about, Arsenal fans, non-Arsenal fans raving about this, is the fact that Arsenal have probably the deepest squad in the league. In most of Europe, and it's not just deep for no reason, it's actually quality players in every position. Arsenal have, you can argue, two quality players who could start in most teams in most positions. So our defense is stacked. Hincapi haven't really hit the ground running. Calafiori hasn't been tried as a left center defender, basically as backup for Gabriel. Miles is yet to really get run of games. Ben White is struggling to get a start, and of course Mosquera is phenomenal. We can already tell. So any permutation of this, Arsenal, I think, if you look at Liverpool, if you look at Man City, Arsenal seems the strongest at the back. And just for every other position, Madueke is there, Nordgaard is there. So squad depth, we're going to have the same pressure just as Man City and Liverpool. And that's where squad depth comes, and being able to change the team and still maintain the quality and put out a team that could win games. So Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal will go through the same number of games from now to January. But I think, and you and I can agree to this, Arsenal are better equipped to still deliver results than any other team that's between Liverpool and Man City. The second part is expected number of losses. I touched on this already. So, of course, Arsenal will lose games. There's no, I feel like it's impossible to achieve unbeaten record anymore, pretty much, in this league. It's just impossible. It's the toughest league in the world. Arsenal will lose games, but just because Arsenal have gotten points where they normally, basically not won, in games they normally lose, I expect Arsenal to lose around 4 to 5 games this season. Okay, so that keeps them well under the threshold of the formula of losses required to win the league in the last 12 years. Okay, so I think we're going to, now if I think to the top of my head, games we could potentially lose, thankfully we already won at Old Trafford, because to me, that's one place where with this rejuvenated United, Liverpool has to go to Old Trafford, Man City have to go to Old Trafford. I can assure you those games are going to be extremely difficult for Liverpool and Man City to win. They could get a draw, but to win, so that's 2 points lost. Now, places I think Arsenal might lose games, maybe with Tottenham. I feel like it's all primed, it's all set up for, as Tottenham to probably beat Arsenal this season. Not because they're generally strong. I think Thomas Frank is gonna literally want to die on that hill. I expect a potential loss away to Crystal Palace when the time comes. And top of my head, those are and even Sunderland. The game against Sunderland, it won't surprise me if Arsenal loses that game. And the reason for that is just because of the Champions League pressure. So playing the Champions League midweek and then putting out a team. Sunderland have nothing to play for. They're going to be home, just preparing to play Arsenal. So I think it potentially could be a draw or a loss for Arsenal. Now, if Arsenal wins that game, even better. Bournemouth away. Guys, listen, I've watched Bournemouth closely. I think Bournemouth is a very dangerous team to play against. And Semenyo is world class. I think he's better than everything Arsenal has on the left-hand side, including Eze. Yes, I said it. I really think so. So this is what? Tottenham away. Let's see. Tottenham away. I'm not afraid of Man City away. I don't think we're going to lose there. Sunderland away. Crystal Palace away. And Bournemouth away. These are 4 games I think Arsenal potentially could lose. And that's 4 games. Well, that's 5 games if we add Liverpool, which we lost. Now, so I've mentioned 2 points. What? Squad depth, which is going to come handy. Second part is the expected number of losses, which I think will do around 4 to 5 losses this season. Strong defense. Now, it's so interesting to me that besides just not even conceding, we're even barely conceding shots on target. That tells you something. That really tells you something. The records speak for themselves. There have been Arsenal great teams in the past, who have, the days of Lee Dixon and co. But I think that attitude, that mindset of not even wanting to concede shots on target will go a long way to even strengthen the Arsenal defense this season. So we have the best defense in the league. It's clear for everyone to see. We've had the best defense in the league in the last 3 seasons as well. So the least number of goals conceded. So, and I think it's going to repeat itself. So meaning that we would actually lose less games this season and possibly draw more. Possibly. Okay, now that's the third part. The fourth part is shared goal scorers. If you notice, okay, Man City is highly dependent on Haaland for goals. Liverpool tend to depend heavily on Salah, but now obviously Ketike and what's his name again? The boy from Isak from Newcastle. Arsenal has just, that's why we, Gyökeres, I feel like the team is kind of struggling with him because we're not used to having appointment. I like Gyökeres. I think he's doing a great job. But I think Arsenal is more than capable to share our goal scoring like we normally do, pretty much. So I think that's a strength. It's not a weakness. It's a weakness for Man City because if Haaland gets injured, they're screwed. The fourth part is our first team has remained relatively unchanged. We only changed, I'll say 2 players. In fact, technically 1 player. We changed Partey and replaced him with Zubimendi. And you and I can already see that Zubimendi is, I think, an upgrade on Partey. Guys, I loved Partey as an Arsenal player. I thought he was phenomenal. But there's just a different element to the game that Zubimendi brings, and I'm beginning to see that. He's a bit more confident. He's a bit more press resistant than Partey. Of course, he's going to make mistakes. His first season in Premier League, but I just think he's just a notch above Partey. So it's an upgrade. Now Eze is also technically our left-sided solution. The reason why he's not playing that much on that flank is because Odegaard is out injured. If Odegaard is back, I do expect Eze to play on the left-hand side. I saw a bit of that in the Carling Cup game in the League Cup game against Brighton, where he played. I thought he was more effective on the left-hand side. So I do expect that if Odegaard is back, so our midfield is Odegaard, Odegaard, Rice, and Zubimendi. I do expect Eze to play on the left-hand side. But the good thing is, even without him playing on the left-hand side, our captain out injured, we're still able to win games with him playing in the middle. I don't think it's a strength. I think his strength is on the left-hand side. So those are my 5 reasons. Just to recap again, one is our squad depth. Okay, expected number of losses, strong defense, shared goal scorers, and a relatively unchanged first team. On the last part, which is a relatively unchanged first team, City have changed their first team greatly. Okay, Liverpool, same thing as well. And you can see they're struggling with their fullbacks and with Florian Wirtz, whom I think is a good player, fantastic player. It just needs time to adapt to the Premier League. But until that happens, it's cost them crucial points. So these are my 5 reasons. I stand by it. I think that unless something catastrophic happens to Arsenal where half of the team gets injured, which I don't see happening, I really do believe that we are the most suited based on stats and data to win this league. And I'm going to say this again. The biggest contender, the biggest rival for Arsenal to win is not Liverpool. The biggest rival to win this league is Man City. Liverpool would lose at least 2 more games or even 3 more games, which I think automatically will rule them out of the contest completely. Because I don't see how Liverpool will not lose more games from now till May next year. I just don't see it. Everybody will lose games, including Arsenal. Arsenal will lose games, probably 4 to 5 games in my opinion. City will lose a few more as well, just because their problem, they're just grossly inconsistent and heavily reliant on Haaland to score goals. So these are my points, guys, and I really stand by it. Yes, you can come back and say, you might think I'm being crazy as a fan. I'm just going off of data. I've studied the Premier League for some time now, and I see that there's a pattern to it. There's a pattern to Arsenal lost the league 2 seasons ago just because of games we should have won that we lost. Fulham away, home and away we drew. Bournemouth home and away we lost. West Ham at home we lost. Aston Villa as well. So and I see that we're better suited to actually pick up points. And I mean pick up by winning these games, which have started well already. So those are my reasons. Yeah, those are my reasons, guys. And I hope, let me know what you think. If you're an Arsenal fan, let me know what you think. Put your comments. Disagree with me, that's fine. But just be kind. Don't be rude and insulting. Let me know your opinion. But this is my opinion and I stand by it. I'm hoping that the team proves me right at the end of the season. Cheers, guys.